Hello everyone, I'm Hadi, an author and an illustrator, and in this vlog we are starting draft 2 of my epic fantasy novel. I have 5 objectives for this vlog, and the first is to streamline the idea, move to South Africa from Asia, one last journal page for writing the actual novel, plan out the 3 point of views, and then finally start writing draft 2. So draft 1 is edited. I put my notes on the actual manuscript, put my ideas down in my writer's journal, and I have many ideas on what to do for draft 2. But first, I just wanted to enjoy my last few moments in my home of 10 years that was Brunei. So while I was experiencing a lot of emotional turmoil, my mind was still on the issues that I had with this book and how to fix it. So 3 of them was the disconnect that I had to the plot, the deepening of the new point of view that I added, the scope of the chapters, and most importantly, who is going to be a point of view characters, how many point of view characters I will have, and how I'm going to go around writing all of that. The solution that I came up with was to have 3 core point of view characters which are all related to each other. So if you had, it's kind of like you're braiding your hair and you have a plait, you have 3 sections of hair and you braid them together, but those sections of hair have hundreds of strands in each section, and if you would like, you can add a string of beads or a ribbon through it and it'll enhance it. And that's how I thought about my point of view characters, who I'll choose and how it's going to happen. Those 3 core point of view characters will be chapters, but there will also be chapters of other characters just to complement these 3 main POV characters. And then these 3 characters all relate to each other and serve the main overarching plot. I was thinking of a really popular example that I can use for this, and I could look no further than A Song of Ice and Fire. The very first book, you get introduced to Brandon, but Brandon is kind of like a string of beads or a ribbon, which complements Ned Stark. When you look at Brandon's chapters, he's very passive in what he does. He's just watching his father do all of these things, and then he is at the behest of these other stronger characters, and then he has his tragic accident, and all of this complements the choices and the places that Ned Stark has to go, the decisions that he has to bring. In Brandon's chapters, the way he describes the other characters, and then you're kind of brought into their perspective less jarringly. Definitely didn't just spend a whole 10 minutes trying to say this word. Ostracization. Jeez. While I can't show footage of me thinking and brainstorming because it's literally going to bore you to death, I did create a lot of new sketches during this time. I had gone completely away from digital art for the first time in, I think, 9 years, and I hadn't touched digital art for months, and so sketching traditionally in pen was an escape. So I have a lot of footage of that. The example that I gave of A Song of Ice and Fire was definitely an oversimplification of the story, but I could go really in depth and we would be here all day because it's one of my favorite series, and I think it really shows when I delve into the politics of the families, and oh my gosh, it really shows when you look at the family tree. I have over 100 named characters just for book 1, and these are characters that really affect the plot and how the plot is going to go. But it's, of course, you have the main characters, and then you have like the people who are related to them. And so I've branched out from there, and because I've been working on this book for so long, it just grew and grew and grew. Hence the issue about the scope of the main characters and who will get the point of views. So that's me looking at the very large family tree while I drink some tea, and I have the sticky notes that I will use for the final plotting page. I stuck a couple A4 pages together using tape just to make this really long piece of, you know what, let's call it the plot scroll. So I have 3 colors for the sticky notes, and each of these colors will represent a main point of view. And I'm writing down a couple of points of each chapter that will go into the final draft. However, it does not mean that it will be told by the main point of view characters, one of these 3 main POV characters. It can be told by any character as long as they relate to this main POV and it gets the point across. So it depends on who's in the scene, and maybe I'll even be rewriting scenes, but I'm very prepared for that. You know what? I am lying through my teeth. I'm not prepared for that at all. I'm not prepared to rewrite a whole chapter, and I know it's going to happen. I know specifically for chapter 1, I'm going to rewrite that thing like 5 times at least. I'm not prepared for it. Do not listen to me, but I'm very, very stubborn. That's something that I will not lie about. I will push through. I'll let it melt my brain, but I know I'm gonna push through. So I have the plot scroll completely done. All of the plot points for all 3 point of view characters are complete. And I have written my last entry in my journal, which leaves just digitalizing all of this stuff to make it easy and putting in my final edits for the plan for the 3 point of view characters, and then I can start. And this editing phase, I let it sit for about a week, and I did a lot of art in between while I still have my brain on the characters, on the story, on everything. I mean, I drew one of the main point of view characters, so that'll tell you that my brain did not stray very far, despite me wanting to give myself a little bit of space to think and to problem solve certain issues or areas that I might have been blind to while I was deep in the planning stage. I made a point about rewriting chapter 1 many times, at least 5 times, which I know that I will do without fail. And a lot of people online will tell you that, you know what, just don't edit, just keep going. But in the beginning stages of novels, I always find myself doing that and being very, very stuck because of this advice. And it was when I realized that, you know, as a young writer, you follow a lot of these advice to a T, but as you grow, you realize that you just need to take it with a pinch of salt and do what works for you. And what worked for me was rewriting things in the beginning stages to try and get the voice, the characters, the plot, everything down. Other than poetry, I don't really write that much, so when it comes to short stories and stuff like that, I can't do. The only time I really write is my full-length novels or attempts at full-length novels. I'll have snippets of scenes in notes, and I don't edit those scenes, so the start of the novel is me finding my balance. Oh, this is the family tree. If you didn't already know, I mean, look at this monstrosity. It's beautiful, amazing, cruel to me. It became a real pain in the butt later on, you know, trying to find out which characters I want to focus on, which characters I just have to fade into the background. But after I killed the plot scroll, which, yeah, I took all of the sticky notes off the plot scroll and I put it in order of when it happens, because on the plot scroll it was just a chronological timeline per perspective, but now it needed to go in book, you know, when each chapter happens. And so I put like point of view 1, then point of view 2, then point of view 3, then point of view 3 again, and then point of view 1, and then point of view 3 again, and then point of view 2, and so on and so on. So I mixed up all of the sticky notes, and that really helped cement which characters I knew just they were never ever gonna fit in or relate or bring out the best of the story. And I just made my peace with that. No matter how much I love them, you just have to kill your darlings. I think I mentioned this in previous vlogs, but what I really like to do is physically write down everything that I know in different formats. And there was this really cool way of looking at plot by, I'm pretty sure it was Brandon Sanderson in one of his amazing lectures. It's very famous lectures, you probably know about it already. And he spoke about a technique called PPP. Promise, progress, and payoff. And so I looked at these sticky notes and I kind of went, okay, what am I promising? What is my progress on those promises? And when does that progress happen? Because that is where a lot of people will stop reading your novel, when the progress is not fast enough or it's too fast, and your pacing really does matter. And this will come in while you're writing your actual prose. But it's good to just get in the plot points now. I'm a hardcore plotter. I like to know everything that I can know before writing the novel, and then leave fun stuff like character flaws and how things are going to play out, how we're going to get from point A to point C. But then point B, I'll leave it as iffy. That's usually settings or specific character decisions. And yeah. I don't know whether my relationship with characters are very different because I already know them very well, because I've been with them for so many years, and through art and through, talking over the span of 8-9 years that I've had them, I've kind of fleshed them out in my mind. And so to me, I kind of go in with no character exploration, and so the fun part is to kind of get an in-depth knowledge of these characters. But at the same time, I do know them more than like someone who's writing a completely new book will know their main characters, because I've been with them for so long. I've drawn them and illustrated them and had headcanons, but they technically are canon because I'm the creator. And so here we are, writing the famous chapter 1 and then filling out the new point of view. I started with the new point of view character because I was most fascinated by this character. I didn't know much about them. I knew a lot about them, to be honest. I did draw them before, and I did have little snippets and short stories written in my captions of my posts on like Patreon and the private accounts and stuff like that. But he was still a bit of a mystery to me, and I loved him, but he was really different to what he turned out to be now. And I also added a lot of new concepts. I have this ever-growing little trinket that I keep with me all the time, and it's just printer paper stuck together with glue and tape, and it's called the Law of Crystals. And crystals is the magic system, the basis of the magic system in Revna. And I added so many new concepts about the magic system I was very intrigued by, and this new perspective was a perfect avenue because he was related to this new concept that I was playing around with. So let me tell you a little bit about the setting of Revna. And right now we are in a place called Lerium. Lerium is very inspired by South Africa. This is me on my way just around. We were on this really long drive in South Africa, and it was so nice to be back home. It was very tough to be without my parents for the first time, but this place truly inspired Revna astronomically. I couldn't wait to get back into the setting. And I mean, 1,500 words will show you it's a very good start for me. Session number 1, and then I have a couple chapters that I skipped ahead and I wrote a couple snippets in, and whenever I do that, I add it in this folder called extra scenes, and then I just put an asterisk next to the chapter so that I know there's a little bit of content that I added. So this is just step 500 out of a million, and I really want to see whether I die first or this gets done, or if it drives me crazy and I just go into an early grave by melting my brain. Thank you so much for staying until the end. Please do like or subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.